Music, please. Time. Hello, judges. I'm DongHwan, and it's a pleasure to meet you all. In photography, there's a concept called the dynamic range. It's the contrast ratio between the darkest and brightest color tones that a camera can capture in a single exposure. The human eye captures a wide range than even the best cameras. So, to create a more realistic picture, we need advanced equipment and technology to capture a wide dynamic range. This concept also applies to the coffee industry. What is coffee? We've come very far in its definition. There was a time when instant coffee, a most common way to enjoy the coffee. But today, we see handcrafted coffee everywhere. Sometimes, a photo with a wide dynamic range can be even more impactful than seeing the real thing. Similarly, a cup of coffee can move us more when we understand its meaningful step along its journey, which create quality and amazing taste experience. This is what these 15 minutes are all about. Please relax and listen as you read the information card on the left side of your table. First, let's talk about the dynamic range of the coffee. The coffee I'm sharing with you today is a geisha variety, planted at 1550 meters altitude at Bicicleta Palm in La Paz, Honduras as an anaerobic natural. Anaerobic coffee processing is progressive, but when it is not controlled well, the coffee can taste funky or even unpleasant. I was able to solve this problem with a new method of anaerobic coffee processing called JH processing. First step in this processing began with the dry husks of the past previous extractions. Mix this with water, lactic bacteria, and yeast to use as additional fermentation material. These fermented together as a pre-fermentation step before any of the coffee cherries were added for 36 hours. The coffee cherries picked by 12 pickers on a single day for consistency, and then added to the fermentation material in sealed tubs for a controlled anaerobic fermentation. During the fermentation, the aroma was checked regularly and pH measurement taken to help determine the stopping point for fermentation, which was at 36 hours. After this, the coffee was taken to drying bath to dry to 10.5% humidity. The main intent of this JH process was to completely control the fermentation and reduce the chance of over-fermentation. The result is a more naturally aromatic coffee with a dynamic acidity but maintaining a clean and sweet character throughout. So, the flavor of Bicicleta coffee is complex, sweet, and clean. It has a wide spectrum. To put the entire rainbow of flavor in a cup, I need delicate technique in grinding as well as extraction. First, the grinding. The complexity of flavor is more noticeable when served in two different ground sizes. For example, 150 microns give you something of white grape, cranberry, and 130 microns give you pink guava, red pomelo. The highlight is complexity. I'm using 6 grams of 150 micron and 14 grams of 130 micron ground. Now, let's talk about the extraction, where the technique is about the clean sweetness. In this composition, flushing the group head with water is useful to remove the residue from the previous extraction and preserve the heat. But I found that this flushing leaves about 2 grams of unheated water between the diffuser and the shower screen, and some oil from residue, mostly coffee, on the screen. To prevent it, I will wipe the shower screen with a dry towel before inserting the porta filter. Then the water will be more evenly distributed. Also, I will get a 1% increase in TDS. Through all this, I get more definition in sweetness and a cleaner aftertaste. Okay, let me start with the espresso, where all the care we put into processing, grinding, and extraction comes to fruition. To retain the complexity and clarity of flavor, I set the machine temperature to 92 degrees, and I'm going to extract 34 grams of espresso from 20 grams of ground coffee for 18 seconds. I'm using recipe for all three beverages. Please read the information card next to the napkin while I prepare the espresso. When I serve you the espresso, please just check the crema and wait a moment. You may take note while I stir for you. You will experience white grape, cranberry, pink guava, red pomelo, medium low weight, smooth texture, clean finish. Please enjoy. Now, let's talk about the milk. Please write down the taste description carefully. Melted caramel gives you the flavor of nougat and the silky texture of the vanilla ice cream. I needed a kind of milk where the fruit with the sweetness of the bicicleta and the sweetness of the milk, so I chose the whole milk with maximum sweetness. And then I homogenize whey protein using ultrasound waves for 30 seconds. Here the intention is just like with the bicicleta cherries, which we harvested in a single day for consistent quality. The quality of milk changes throughout its distribution. So I wanted to manage sweetness by using ultrasound waves to re-homogenize the milk. It's easier to create silky texture from steamed milk when the whey protein is evenly mixed throughout the volume of the liquid. It also complements the espresso's own sweetness. The result, a milk beverage that tastes smooth and clean. This homogenization process can also be applied to roasting. Bicicleta has delicacy, sweetness, and transparency, and I wanted to increase all three during roasting. So I used a light profile as well as a halogen heat source, which would keep the temperature consistent between the surface inside of the beans. I minimized use of hot air to safely remove moisture and used the halogen to preserve the spectrum. In addition, I limited the amount of bean to a 300-gram batch to keep the distance between the light and the beans as even as possible. I put them in 160 degrees and took them out at 224 degrees. It took 8 minutes. You can tell that bicicleta sweetness is well preserved. Even after processing and roasting. Please enjoy. Can I start? Finally, signature. With the signature drink, I'm going to expand the bicicleta flavor even more by controlling the temperature for each ingredient that I will use in the drinks in the same way JH process for the coffee itself. The main ingredients are espresso, lime syrup, golden essence. I chilled the espresso as soon as I extracted it. That was to preserve the bicicleta's complexity. And the lime syrup is for mellowing out the drink's brightness without losing it together. To gently increase the aroma, I heated 200 grams of whole lime in 50-degree water for 4 minutes, then squeezed the juice. I added sugar in a 1-to-1 ratio and aged it for 2 days. When I add 20 grams of this lime syrup to the drinks, the white grape taste of the espresso comes out as a green apple flavor. The last ingredient is golden essence. This essence, extracted from 3 ingredients, expands the dynamic range of the bicicleta's flavor. By adding golden essence, the pink guava, red pomelo flavors of the espresso turns into the flavors of Ceylon cinnamon, honey, the smooth texture of the mango juice. Golden essence is made from magnolia flower petals, juniper berries, and saffron. First, I extract the essence from 6 magnolia petals in 40 grams of 70 water for 1 minute. This is to get a sweetly aromatic solution. The magnolia petals can be extracted at a high temperature, but the extraction must be carefully managed or else it gets bitter. Next, juniper berry were roasted in a pan over low heat for 5 minutes and then cooled for 6 hours. Raw juniper berry have a pungent aroma. Roasting them lightly can mellow out the intensity to extract the flavors. The berries were ground to 900 micron particles using a Comandante grinder. Lastly, 6 strands of saffron, 2 grams of sugar were muddled together. The pleasant bitter floral aroma of saffron acts to bind together all the other aromas in the essence. Finally, to make the golden essence, I'm going to pour the 50-degree magnolia tea over juniper berry and saffron to extract the essence. The magnolia tea is only 50 degrees because I don't want the pungent aroma of juniper berries and the bitter floral aroma of saffron to come out too strongly. I'm also using a fine cold brew bitter to strike a balance between the clarity and texture. And I'm using 6 grams stainless steel ice bowl, frozen at 0 degrees, so I can combine the different temperatures, aromas, and flavors while maintaining the body without extra dilution from ice. Now I combined espresso chilled at 7 degrees, golden essence 15 degrees, lime syrup 15 degrees, and golden essence extracted at 50 degrees. The combined temperatures 10 degrees. I'm putting it into the glass with the frozen stainless steel ice bowl and stir it gently 10 times to combine. Now the tasting note: green apple, honey, caramel, cedar, the smooth texture of the mango juice, a crispy mouthfeel, aftertaste of the caramelized biscuit like a speculoos. Please enjoy the signature drink after I call time. Please keep its resource and drink it over 2 sips. It's served in something with large vanish and a small opening. This is to expand the aroma and give an impression of the texture. Photography and coffee are similar in that the impression we get from the final product varies by person. Just like the sensory experience was a different color. Thank watch in each one of you. Thanks for being a part of my coffee journey in exploring the change and advance in the world of specialty coffee. Now raise your glass and look over here. May specialty coffee stay dynamic for many more years to come and time.
Ladies and gentlemen, DongHwan representing South Korea.